Okay, so today's video we're going to be playing in this cute little short bob here. This one came courtesy of Yoowigs. I'm going to be teaching you how to take your crimped wavy hairstyles and take them to the next level. But before we get into that, this is the packaging from Yoowigs. It comes with a nice little bow on it. I was even smart enough to be able to put it back on all by myself. And then this is the packaging of the actual box. So I almost forgot to add my powder. I did add my Sally Hansen's leg spray in the inside, and this is what it looks like. It almost looks pretty good. I'm just going to add a little bit of powder just to see if that'll help to make it look even more realistic, but you definitely don't need it. I'll jump into the tutorial of literally how I styled this wig, literally from taking it out of the box, cutting the lace, and everything that I do literally from start to finish. So if you're interested in seeing the entire tutorial, go ahead and keep on watching. Also, don't forget to subscribe. It'll help me out so much. Also, leave in the comment section any kind of videos you guys want to see from me coming up. Now let's jump into the tutorial. Okay, so we're just gonna jump right into it. This wig is so gorgeous. I'm gonna start out by adding a little bit of a concealer. I'm actually using a Sally Hansen's leg spray. I'll have it linked down below, and this is gonna act as me bleaching the knots. When you put the wig on and flip it over and you part it, it's gonna look very skin-like without having to actually put dye and bleach on your roots and risk messing it up. I'll show you the downside in a minute. There are 3 combs in the front, 1 comb in the back, and adjustable straps as far as the wig goes. And here we go. So it does not completely bleach the knots if you do a light layer. If you do a super thick layer, as I sometimes do, that definitely will do the trick. But the downside is that it leaves a gray cast. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it definitely leaves that gray cast on the hair, which is why I don't like to do too thick of a coat. But I still like the fact that even though the knots are not completely bleached, at least you know, the overall appearance of the lace is that it looks like the color of my skin. Now here, the wig is already appeared to be slightly pre-plucked, but I'm just going to go in and customize it just a little bit more. I don't care how nice a wig is. It's always great to add your own touch in any way that you feel necessary. You don't always have to do, you know, completely customize your wig when you first get it. Sometimes you can just take your time and do it step by step. You know, first day, add your elastic band, cut the lace off, possibly co-wash the hair, you know. The next day you can go ahead and tweeze it, you know, just take your time with it so you don't make any mistakes if you are a beginner. You can still see that gray cast, which again is the downside to using that Sally Hansen's leg spray, but still I love it so much, and I feel that when I am completely done styling the wig and it's all said and done, majority of that goes away. So here I am cutting off the excess lace. This one actually goes pretty far or wide across my ears, so there was plenty to cut off. So it's definitely very big head friendly. If you have a big wide head, it's definitely going to fit you, and the lace still will go ear to ear. As you guys know, typically I like to cut off the ear tabs, aka the sideburns, just because for a day-to-day basis, look, I typically don't use a ghost bond or a got to be glued to bond them down. And for some reason, the got to be glued actually does not work, pretty much because I've allowed my sideburns to grow back, and since then I cannot get the got to be glued to stick my lace down to my sideburns. So I would literally have to use like ghost bond or bold hold, which is not a problem, but over time having to use that day to day can damage your natural hair. So I definitely wouldn't recommend it. I alternatively like to use elastic. In this video I did not add an elastic band. I just decided to style the wig without using elastic. So being as hard-headed as I am, I took my yellow got to be glued and I added a really thick layer. I pinned the hair back so it does not mess with that while it dries. Kind of multitask. I went ahead and set up my styling tool that I'm going to be using today while it dried for about 5 minutes. And now it appears that it's going to dry. It feels very tacky, and when I apply the lace to or basically to the area, it feels like, yes, it sticks. And look how amazing it looks. It's a completely different ball game when you go ahead and bond your wig down. I cannot even lie to you guys. The difference between adding an elastic band and using an actual bond, even if it's got to be glued, is incomparable. It's definitely a huge step to bond your wigs down, but it also is more maintenance because you have to clean the lace every time so that it doesn't get cakey. If it leaves, you have to, bond it back down. I just don't physically have the time on a day-to-day basis to care for it, which is why I don't. But at some point in my life, I got to get to bonding all my wigs down because this is a game changer. All I used was a little tiny bit of got to be glued, and boom, it looks like scalp. So I wanted it to be ultra seamless. So I did make it look a little bit more sparse in the front, simply because when it's all said and done and I swoop the baby hair, it's going to look more realistic. Now here I go about to swoop the baby hair. Do you see how all that was necessary? You'll see when it's all said and done what it looks like. I apologize for the makeup mishap. I'm gonna start filming like without like makeup on my forehead. It's so much easier to do my makeup like earlier in the day, so when I film, my makeup is already done and I'm presentable. But like things like this happen, usually I can just take a towel and just wipe it and it's fine, and I'll just touch up my makeup at the end. But I just know it's not the most pleasant to look at. Now I'm going to go ahead and part the hair to begin styling. At this point I still hadn't had my mousse. If you follow me, you know that I have been out of mousse. I've been out of a lot of my products, and I finally got a chance to go to Sally's today and pick up my favorites, my mousse, my wet, all my HG Holy Grail products, so they will be back in my videos. I'm trying different brands this time, but rambling. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my infamous crimper. Now I've had this crimper for over 10 years, and now that the video is done, I'll be honest and say that this thing is beginning to die. When I used to crimp my hair, like I would leave it for literally like all of 5 to 10 seconds and it would be super defined. I did find that it did not define the curls as well as I'm used to. So that was a bummer, but it still came out really good. I do have another crimper, and I'm gonna do a more dedicated tutorial on how I crimp my hair like really good, especially like on long wavy hair. So I'll do that another day with my other one that is more of a better quality now. At first this one was the better quality, but you know, it's starting to die on me. I'm so sad. Anyways, I didn't really go ahead and like section the hair off and do it super duper neat. So I can say if you do it neat and like you add a styling product, typically I would just add like a serum, like my Cara Silken Sheen or something like that. Like an oil sheen will work great. You just spritz a little bit on the hair, brush and smooth it out. That way when you crimp it, it has something to like a product to work with. And it gives it that nice shine, and it'll be better to see, you know, your nice little crimps and all that goodness. I did power through this video a little bit, coming up in a few seconds, just because I know that it's redundant to watch me, you know, do this over and over again. But you guys pretty much get the drift. So a little bit about this hair. I really didn't have any complaints about it. Super gorgeous. All the details on this wig are listed in the description bar. It does have a nice parting space. It was pre-plucked. It is a nice, really nice defined wave bob. I do find with this bob that if you would have just wanted to like wet it and add your styling product, like your Sebastian shape, not just Sebastian shapers, your wet that I usually love, or any like leave-in conditioner or something, it would have made a nice style. But I really didn't want the wet puppy doll look tonight. I really wanted something that was a little bit more done, and I am happy with the product. Just go ahead at this point and add a little bit of a serum. I added a little bit of my Silken Sheen, but I think I needed a little bit thicker of a serum. Also, I tried to be lazy. You guys see that I only bonded down one side because I know I was going to be doing like a swoop flip over, and the other side would not be exposed. But I did realize I did need to add at least one more section of baby hair to make it not look undone. So here I did go ahead and decide to use my Sebastian, or I'm sorry, I keep messing up my products. I did add my Skinny Serum by Paul Mitchell. Now I'm going to go ahead and tie the scarf around it. The only reason I'm tying the scarf around it is to kind of help to lay it flat, as you guys can see. I didn't leave it on too long. Typically, in lieu of adding a scarf, since I am pretty impatient, I typically will go ahead and add my mousse at this point, like a foam lotion, and then I'll use my flat iron, just like so, to go ahead and seal that in. To me, this gives me the best, quickest, easiest, cleanest, neatest outcome as far as making this area of the head, basically the crown of the head, look super neat and done. I feel like when I don't use that product, my hair does not look as done and neat, in my opinion. But again, you can just use a scarf or you can wet it down. I didn't want to use water after already, putting a hot tool to it. But this is the look. I have this wig linked in the description bar. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.